Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing here on this Tuesday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to Good Morning with Reganelite here on the 25th of November. Oh, why are we already near the end of November? Crazy. 2025. It will not be long. Literally, it will be tomorrow. It will be 2026. That's how quickly time goes, guys. Time never stops. It is 11 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. And literally, I've just realised I don't have my devices up so that I can't actually look at the chat while I'm doing the work, which is not very smart of me. Very, very silly of me. I have not planned. I've not prepared well today, have I? Oh dear, oh dear. I'm all over the place today, guys. My apologies. So for those who are new here to the live stream and those who don't know how things work, so we normally go roughly about an hour here from 11 o'clock here to 12 o'clock here on the Good Morning Show. We give the daily quota. We also look at the weather and see what's happening in the weather for today in the next couple of days. And we also have a look at some of the news that's happening today. We're going to be looking specifically at the UK news. So we got looking at that today. So we're going to be looking from the Telegraph, the Times, Financial Times, the iPaper, the Independent, BBC, Sky News, then the Guardian there, and at the end there, if we get a chance, Byline Times there as well. And somehow I've managed to set everything up while we're been talking. Viper Scott, thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. Holy moly, 23 months. How long? 23 months. That's almost 2 years. That's almost 2 years. Wow. And it was 2 years, actually. Next month is actually 2 years to when I had the membership set up. And you were one of the first of many very generous people who became YouTube members. And you've been a member ever since. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Alistair Keir, for being a member for 23 months. That's insane. I really, really appreciate it. I didn't even say hello to everyone in the chat. Stephen Banker, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Viper Scott, of course, good morning to you. Dave McGuinness, good morning. Hope you are doing well. Scott Hayes, good morning to you. Billy Kershaw, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. And Lisa B, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Anybody else there? Time has gone quickly. I know. It's insane. Time goes way too fast. Way, way, way too fast. So here is today's daily quota. Let's just start with the daily quota. Then we'll look at the weather, guys, if you can see it. So you can see it. I don't make him up. It comes. This is what it says. So it's not me, guys. That's what it says. So from Reese Weatherspoon, this one is. You can always gain by giving love. You can always gain by giving love. Simple message from Reese Witherspoon there. Very nice one there. Interesting one for tomorrow. And a reminder, guys, tomorrow's Good Morning Show. There will be a Good Morning Show, but it will be at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. It will not be at 11 o'clock. I cannot do a Good Morning Show and Prime Minister's questions and the budget. It will just be too detrimental on my stomach more than anything. So I will not be doing the Good Morning Show at 11 o'clock. I will be doing it at 8 o'clock. So if you guys want to join me for the Good Morning Show tomorrow, it'll be at 8 a.m. just for reference there. Right, let me get to the weather. Let's have a look and see what's happening with the weather today, guys. Let's have a look. For those reference who want to see it for themselves, what I'm using the bbc.co.uk/weather map. For reference, I've set the wind on, and the time on this is at 6 o'clock, just for reference here. So I'm going to scroll back out, and we're going to see the big, beautiful planet that we all live on here. You can see here. And you can see there's some nice chilly colds at the north and the south of the globe. Zooming in a little bit, we got some different temperatures here and there. Very chilly in Canada and Alaska, -14, -12. San Francisco, New York, 12, 13. Miami, 28, Mexico, 21. It looks like these temperatures don't really change too much, but maybe it's because BBC don't look at them too much. But yeah, still warm climates in South Africa there. Cape Town, 23. Auckland, Sydney, Perth, 15, 21, 19 there. Beijing has gotten a lot chillier, -2 there. Tokyo, cold 7. Philippines, 26. Look at the stark difference there. 26 degrees in the Philippines, -2 in China. Incredible. New Delhi there, 13 there. Riyadh at 21, Tehran 11. And we can see up in the north there, Iceland, a chilly 2 degrees we saw there. Murmansk, -17. -17, guys. I don't know how people can live in such temperatures, but there you go. Do I need to go one step in, or can I go one step? I'll go one step in. Okay, let's have a look at Europe, guys. Madrid 8, Lisbon 13, Parmelo 15, Rome 11. With some rainstorms around the at Italy there. Nice 11, Bern 2. There's a big snowstorm sweeping across Europe. We can see here as well. So definitely more snow dropping on the Swiss and French mountains there, as well as the north of Spain. You can see north of Spain, south of France. There you can see some snow dropping there. Zagreb 6, Tara 15, Athens 18, Istanbul 13, Budapest 5, Kiev 6, Vienna 3, Prague, Warsaw, Berlin, all a very cold 1 degrees with forecasts of snow in their area there. Moscow 1, St. Petersburg 0 there. Minsk there 0. Oslo a cold -2 despite no snow today from the looks from their forecast here. Budapest 7 there. You can see Brussels is 5 there. Yeah, this big storm patch coming over there. So yeah, Paris and Brussels 5 and 5 respectively here. Coming to the UK, London, Cardiff 4 and 4, Manchester 2, Ireland is a 5, Belfast 2, and Edinburgh 1. Those are the temperatures we got today. So temperatures overall, max, they're not going to be very, very warm. Again, it's going to be very, very cold here, as we can see today. So just be aware of that. But the good news is there's not going to be snow, it's not going to be rain, it's going to be pretty much dry all throughout the day here. So it's all just a case of just keeping yourself warm is the main thing, guys. Ellie, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Person impersonator as well. And Alliston, thank you so much for the £2 super chat for Ollie and the Christmas tree. Oh, yes, the Christmas tree. I put that out. That was from last year there. So I managed to find space for that there. Thank you so much, my friend. And Martin, good morning to you. Holla to you. Hope you are doing well. So as we move into the next day here today, overnight here, we can see overnight here till 3 in the morning on Wednesday, tomorrow morning, in the early hours of the morning, their temperatures dropping to -1 there. And as we saw yesterday, this rainstorm is going to be coming in here. It doesn't look like it's going to be as bad as they originally forecast it to be. So there is going to be some showers tomorrow there. Let me switch settings here. So yeah, looks like the storm is going to hit pretty much Ireland there, pretty much most of the morning there. Scotland is going to get hit with some parts of it in the early morning, but yeah, mainly lunchtime. Yeah, it looks like most of the rain is going to dissipate from the looks of it. So there will be some showers in some parts of the UK, parts of Wales, parts of Scotland, and parts of southern England there. But most of it looks like it's going to dissipate before it really hits other parts. It looks like it might hit parts of where I am as well from the looks of it there. But as you can see, guys, temperatures will go up tomorrow. So you can see temperatures right now, and you can see the next day temperatures really do increase here for tomorrow. Big increase in temperatures there. Belfast and Dublin, 12 and 10 degrees there. And you can see Edinburgh, Cardiff, London, Manchester. So temperatures are going to increase tomorrow. So today is going to be the last really cold day for a while. So there's going to be a big increase in temperatures here. And you can see even going into overnight into the next day, guys, you can see, look, temperatures still staying warm overnight on Wednesday into Thursday morning. You can see 10, 12, 13, 9, 11, 9. An increase in temperature. You're getting an increase in temperature, and it's bloody late November, and you're getting warmer temperatures, guys. Which you shouldn't be getting into Thursday morning here. Again, 11, 11, 11, 13, 13, 10 temperatures. Like, you might even put your shorts on, yeah, if you're not bothered by it, which you probably will be. You probably will put your shorts on just because you can. But on Thursday, we can see here there is going to be some spots of showers here in parts of Scotland, parts of England, parts of Wales there. Spots here and there. Looks like there's quite this big storm. Looks like it's going to be hitting this sort of storm that looks like it's going to be hitting here, possibly in parts of Scotland there. Parts of so there's going to be some showers here and there on Thursday. We can see there. But again, look at the temperatures. They're not staying too much. They're staying the same. Looks like Friday there's going to be a dip in the temperatures in some parts. Yeah, Thursday and overnight into Friday morning, their temperatures are going to dip again, but it's nothing Nothing too bad as today, but you can see there 7, 7, 8, 9, 10 and London there. Temperatures rise back up a little bit on Friday there, we can see. Scotland is not going to have too much of a change in temperature there, but down in the south, London and Cardiff, their temperatures are pretty as you expect there. And then just looking into Saturday here, Saturday is a dip in temperatures there from the looks of it there. Yeah, so we're going to have some dip in temperatures, and looks like not going to be much rain on the Saturday there. That's pretty good. Okay, there is this big storm here that looks like going to hit south of England and London, the capital there, on Saturday there. What about Sunday? Just have a quick look at Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday we're going to get a big drop in temperatures. Okay, yeah. So we're going to get today it's going to be very cold. Tomorrow it's tomorrow the temperatures will start to rise up, so we'll have an increase in temperatures there. And then the temperatures will drop back down as we head into the weekend there. So that's what it looks like there. 13 degrees. That's just insane. We should not be having that kind of temperature, guys. Really, really should not. I have my shorts on out now, said Dublin God on Twitch. Everyone's saying good morning to everyone. Morning. Sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud in the sky. This person impersonating where you are. Oh. Yeah, there are some really cold days where it's like literally no clouds in the sky, but it's still really cold and you can feel it. Right, let's have a look at what some of the news is happening here. We're going to start with the Telegraph here, guys. Or the Tory graph or the Reform graph, one of the two names that you want to use here. And obviously, because it's a Telegraph, do take it with a pinch of salt. Next generation leukemia drug approved on the NHS. Anything that helps tackle leukemia, I'm all for. Joanna Lumley, humans are unbearably vain. Labour must half waiting list to meet pledge on NHS they have here. Benefit claimants cut off from BMW's and Mercedes in mobility scheme. Okay. NHS puberty blockers trial risk a repeat of Travis Stock, warns whistleblowers there as well. Says BBC is in disarray over biased claims. This is coming from the Telegraph, okay? This is coming from the Telegraph, right? Who are more biased than any. They're very biased, but not as biased as the Daily Mail. Interesting story here on the right-hand side. So a Union flag expedition cancelled for fear of causing offence, which is a real shame because you have the whole culture war bollocks, and it is a load of bollocks. You know, scaremongering people into doing things that they normally do. You have this expedition on Union flags. It's been cancelled because they're so upset, concerned about upsetting someone or offending somebody for their flags. It's so silly. But unfortunately, that's the way things are going. I'm afraid. Craft goes to the dog as it welcomes mongrels. NHS shortages, a false bereaved parents into harrowing waits for answers. Starmer would lose to Rayner in leadership challenge, they say here as well. Worst places in the UK for a roadside side litter. They have a piece on that as well. In case anyone's wondering why I'm not opening any pieces, because they're all behind paywalls, in case anyone's curious. This is what doctors told me about puberty officers as a mother. I'm terrified. Prince Andrew Way to be renamed to answer council vote. Good. Get rid of the name. Absolutely terrible. The political war inside Britain's asylum capital. Iran losing control of the Houthis. That's not a surprise. There. So those are some of the stories there from the Telegraph. Is it worth looking even at the politics here? Farad, playground banter can look different in the modern light of day. That's not the headline. We'll get to the real headline in one of the other stories. That's not the real headline there. Contemporaries at former school accuse reform Russia leader of making anti-Semitic remarks, including Hitler is right. By the way, monetization is not on these live streams, guys. I don't make any money from monetization on them. Only on my videos do I have monetization on, just for reference. Migrants welcoming Wales, says Labour's First Minister. Stereotyping Muslims as child groomers could fall foul of Islamophobia definition. Labour to use private cash to expand GP hubs. US tell Britain kick out Chinese firms as well. Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree with the US. We shouldn't have, in certain firms, we shouldn't, like, I'm still not in favor of the Chinese giant embassy that we're going to be building here. Not in favor of it at all. So that's a lot of the nonsense from the Tory graph here. This is an interesting one here, like right at the front here, guys. Right at the front of the Times here, you've got here under politics. So Starmer apologizes to the head after leading pupil in a banning meme. I'm looking at page 67, and it's like, what's wrong with this? Okay, apparently, the Prime Minister performed a 6/7 dance for reading the primary school children's before learning they're usually told off for doing so. They don't want kids doing memes, apparently. I generally, like, general question, I don't know where the offence is, but apparently it's not helpful. So kids and the Prime Minister are not allowed to have fun, apparently. Rachel Reeves hit her out a misogynist and tells Labour MPs to unite. No, we're not going to unite behind you, Rachel. You made promises, and you made promises, and you've already gone past on there. He's disrupting the class. He's not disrupting the class. Reeves to hit 100,000 properties with mansion tax to balance the books. You can't balance the books with just a tax on the mansions. That's not enough money. Like, I'm not in the economics. I'm not very good with calculations and numbers. But even I know that's not going to balance the books. The UK should stop China buying key infrastructure, says US officials. Man behind the memo comes to pray to BBC, not bury it. Milkshakes and lattes to be hit by sugar tax. No! I like my milkshakes. I'm devastated. I'm absolutely gutted, guys. A sugar tax on our milkshakes and lattes. A tax on our milkshakes. This is an abomination. This Chancellor has gone too far, guys. She's gone too far. A tax on milkshakes. There's a line, guys, and this line has been crossed. No, she crossed the line with milkshakes, guys. She has crossed the line. Shameful, shameful, shameful. Farage says my teenage comments were banter, not racism. Bollocks. You know exactly what they were. As a teenager, you're not an idiot. You were privately educated, Nigel. You know exactly what you were taught. You know what's right and wrong, and you chose to say the wrong things. How will scrapping the 2-child benefit cap affect families? It will save them money. BBC failing to tackle systematic bias, says all 5 leaked memo. Yep, this is also coming from the Times, which is very biased towards the right as well. Just pointing that out there. Hickety Point, 700 million fish at disco, saving less than 1 salmon a year. BMWs and Mercedes-Benz cars removed from mobility scheme. Premium vehicles will no longer be available under the controversial vehicle licensing program for people with disabilities. Yeah, as long as people look. Here's the thing. Here's what I just want to say on the 2 cents with regards to this. Okay. It shouldn't matter what the vehicle is. If they can use the vehicle to get to A to B, that's the main thing. It doesn't need to be a fancy car. As long as the car, they are able to get in it, okay, get out of it, okay, be able to get to A to B, okay. Those are the main components. It should not matter what kind of car it is, as long as it's one that is viable to them. That's my 2 cents on it. Mama's asylum reforms could leave people destitute on the street. It will. We will have more homeless people on the street. Have the government mentioned that they planned to end homelessness? Didn't they? Didn't they say they were going to end the homelessness in their manifesto? Doesn't like that. That's going to go well there. Why can't people have a fancy car? Why can't those disabled people have a fancy car? That's discrimination. I'm not saying that they can't have a fancy car. What I'm saying is that as long as they have a car that gets them from A to B, that is easy to get in, easy to get out, that's the main thing. It shouldn't matter what kind of car it is, as long as they are able to get in and out okay, able to get to A to B okay with it. That's the main thing. What kind of car it should not be what kind of car it is is not the question. The question is a car that is suitable for them. This doesn't need to be a luxury car. It needs to be a car that they can use. If they have a fancy car, if they can afford it. Well, that's why we're talking about people on people on entitlements here. We're talking about people on entitlements. That's a really important point there. MPs plot coronation off the street after May election. Mears has promised to listen to businesses on employment rights bills. Oh, sure you are. Sure you're listening to them. And we already covered that story yesterday. The entrepreneurs are leaving the UK in droves. Tory chairman compares reform badge to a Nazi one. Kevin Holloway faces backlash from his own party after his response to Nigel Farage's tweet. Refugees who are months away from settling now face a 15-year wait as well. That's the story from yesterday. If they can afford it, they can have it. It shouldn't be penalised for it. Nobody's penalising people for having a car. It's the type of car. I don't have a problem with this scheme here. I don't have a problem with BMWs and Mercedes being removed from the mobility scheme. I don't have a problem with luxury cars being removed. My only concern is the main point of it. This is really important. The main point of it, okay, dumpling gods, right, is as long as they are able to get in and out of the car, okay, and they're okay doing that, and they're able to get to A to B using it, that's the main thing. Yeah? That's the main thing. That is the reason why you have that car. Those are the main fundamental points there. Yeah? They're saying, like, I don't have a problem with this personally. That I can understand some people having an issue with it. But for me, the main crux of it, as long as people are able to get to A to B, that's the main thing. Let's have a look at the front of UK, see if there's anything here. Half of Britain supports scrapping HS2 to plug budget shortfall. Minister's back Heathrow Airport's £49 billion runway over rival scheme. I'm going to touch on that later if we've got another story somewhere where we can open up. London here. London members join a gold rush in New York, apparently. Scotland stories here for the Times. Proud Scots for independence exposed as Iran-based troll network. Is this to do with the ex-location reference thing? I bet that's what it is. It's funny how they don't seem to point out a lot of the MAGA supporters are from, India, Bangladesh, East Asia and whatnot. England copies Scotland's life skill school curriculum. The Highlands Ferry is so old it belongs on a historic register there. That's some of the stories there. What they got for London? Your neighbour is painting his own black. Be glad it's not a crack house. Okay, there's some nonsense, some odd stories here and there. Let's have a look at a neutral paper here. Thank you, Alistair Viper Scott there, Alistair Keir, for the £2 super chat for the DPR. Stephen Banker says, talk about kicking the poor, but kicking again when you can't get any lower, it's just plain immoral. Wheelchair users need a card wide enough for their wheelchair to fit and make it unemployment, but the space is required. Like I said, my point is not the car, the model. For me, it's as long as they are able to get in and out, they can get to A to B. That's the main thing. They need to be able. The cars have to be suitable for them. So you can't take the vehicle away from them. It's just what kind of vehicle it is. And they're taking BMWs. The reason they're taking them off the list, right? And I know some people will disagree with it. I think the main reason they're taking it off the list is because of the woke hierarchy over it. The whole woke bollocks, people getting BMWs and whatnot. I know it's not right, guys. I generally think that's the reason why they're doing it. UK shifting labour markets threaten millions of low-skilled jobs. Study finds demand for staff in sectors such as sales and customers services fallen faster than expected, all in part due to AI. Yep, this is not a surprise. Why hire a person to do it when an AI can do it for you? This is exactly what this is. Reeves asked banks to praise her plans as they escape budget tax raid. Chancellor under pressure from some Labour MPs to raise levies on businesses this week. Reeves to cut annual cash ISA limit to £12,000 in the budget. The move comes as the UK government attempts to funnel more cash into London listed stocks. UK supermarkets set to be hit by higher business rates after Treasury U-turn. NHS centres to be built using private finance in England. This is really, really bad. This is there. No doubt you would have them in an old banger. I didn't say that, Dumpling. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. You're clearly not listening to what I said. I said that as long as they can get in and out of the car and get to A to B, that's all that matters. You're obviously not listening to what I'm saying. UK ministers back Heathrow's airport £49 billion plan for a third runway. Proposals to expand London hubs will require moving part of the M25 motorway there. Yeah. That's going to be a nightmare. We're talking about a project that's going to take it's going to take decades. I hate this project, this airport expansion. They're so desperate to expand Heathrow Airport, and it's just such a nonce. I hate it so much. I wonder if it's cheaper actually just to build a tunnel instead of moving the M25. I think that's probably might be better. Because that in itself is going to take ages to do. It's going to cost an absolute fortune just to move the M25. Might be better just to build a massive tunnel instead. Might be. Stephen Baker says, I'm in and out of taxis for years with my mum and a wheelchair. My mum would never be able to get a wheelchair in and out of the boot of a car. Most drivers are cool about it, but some are plain useless. I'm sorry to hear that, Stephen Baker. Yeah. Morning, Muchy Von Eric. Hope you are doing well. So some stories there from the Financial Times. Let's have a look and see what the iPaper is saying here, guys. Front of the iPaper. Upbeat Reeves says, I'll be here next year as my budget day looms. You will not be there next year. And you will not be there next year, Rachel. You are not going to be there next year. Mansion tax will cause Reeves a world of trouble in budget, top economics has said. It will never end voters' cost of living ahead of the budget. You don't need to pay a fine, Matty, for being late. Don't be silly. Thank you for the £2 super chat. You don't need to do that. I hope you are doing well. Like I said, everyone's got lives, so I appreciate people giving their time to watch this live stream. And exclusive there, plan to install heat pumps into most homes in jeopardy over cuts to 7,500 grants. Why are we doing this? Why are we cutting the grants to this? Why are we doing this? We shouldn't be doing that. That's a very terrible idea. Cycle to work salary sacrifice perks is set to be capped. £700 million nuclear conservation plan would save one salmon every 12 years. The car is still available on the mobility scheme and the luxury models cut. So have they got a list here? Have they? Are they going to cut me off here? Yeah, you're going to cut me off here. I actually want to have a look at this. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get around this. Well, I can get around this. I have a way of getting around this, shall we say. Thank you. 1 second. Why are you asking me if I'm a robot? Don't be so silly. You know I'm not a robot. No, come out of that. Let's have a nose. Ministers have been keen on change to stop people accessing luxury models such as BMWs, Audis and Mercedes-Benz via the scheme. Said it would be comfortable with those brands no longer being an option. Reform UK has called high-end cars being available to benefit claimants an absolute scandal. Nigel Farage party suggested bringing back free will. Yeah, the free will thing is just a nonsense thing. Treasury is also concerned about the fairness of benefit claimants getting car models beyond most working families. Treasury previously source told the iPaper that very high-end brands went far beyond essential mobility is what they're claiming here. The iPaper took a closer look. Only 6% of mobility cars are luxury models. in a wide range of mobility cars, including BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes, are available in exchange for most of all disabled drivers £300 a month for PIP and mobility allowance. Mobility Operations, the companies running the scheme, sells cars on the second-hand market at the end of the leasing arrangement, which is typically 3 years. However, drivers have to pay more upfront payments for the premium car models. Advance payments can range from nothing at all to some of the most basic mainstream models, up from $7,999 for the likes of the Audi Q4 or the BMW i4. For any car that costs more than the mobility awareness, customers contribute to the difference themselves as a mobility operator spokesperson. Mobility Operations said 94% of the vehicles in the scheme, 700,000 strong fleets, are from mainstream brands. Only 6% of the fleet, around 50,000 cars, are luxury models. This is only 60,000. Only 50,000. So only 6% of them are used in luxury models, is what they claim. It means a wide range of cars such as Peugeot, Citroën, Kia, Ford, Skoda, Nissan, Volvo, and Vauxhall should still be available if the premium brands were stopped. So this is what they're saying here. This is the detail here. Yeah, like I said. So you've still got these brands here. Is what they're saying here. But the operation said offering such a wide range of models, including premium bonds, boosting negative power there. Had a Peugeot, less leaf, which was especially she had to pay along with a £300 for pit claim at one of the back seats. Was taken out of the car for the host to get the wheelchair in. My car for Lifeline. It's so important to get an appointment. Get to voluntary work. A do gives me independence. Beck said the idea of imposing tax on the scheme feels unfair. Yeah, there shouldn't be a tax on the scheme. Significantly, yep. A reason imposed. Very worrying time. Yeah, see, this is an example here. She's using a Peugeot 508 here. Peugeot's not going to be in the. It's not going to be one of the. It's not a premium brand here, guys. It's not a premium brand. Taxing luxury cars could be unfair and divisive. Look, here's what I like. Here's my 2 cents. Like, I'm not very much in this, but let me just say this. Like, can we really say that all these brands here, you can't find a suitable in these brands here? I hope so. But what they're saying is that there's one of the main reasons they're doing it is because of the politics. Yeah, because when you've got Reform UK constantly banging on about people on benefits in BMWs and Audis, it's not good, guys. It's not good. It's feeding into their narrative. So Labour are trying to get around the narrative, and this is one of their ways of doing so. I get the criticism. I understand that. But my point is, and I've made this point very clear, okay, so many times, if they can use and don't need a premium brand car, if these brands, for example, can get you in and out of the car, get you from A to B, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. And it's only 6% of the fleet, around 50,000 cars are luxury models for BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes-Benz there. So, let me come out of that. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking about it forever, I know. What else is there? News. There's not a lot of news here for the iPaper here. Brexit, Trump and Truss and Reeves, experts on who to blame for stalling the economy. Well, it's Trump mainly. We don't pay VAT on other disability aids. Cars that are mobility aids should not have VAT. Yeah, I agree with that. Fucking advertisement logo even. Person that says, reminds me of what Zach Polanski said. How come savings are always made at the poorest and the end of society? Yeah, I've made that. I've made that point. It should always be the rich paying the most. Like, personally, we shouldn't touch any of it. Personally, we shouldn't be touching any of it. But the problem is that the right wing are controlling the narrative. That's the problem. Farage said he did not racially abuse fellow pupils with intent. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. State pension to rise by £550 in a triple lock boost. £700 million nuclear compensation plan would save only one salmon every 12 years. There. We've seen that story already. I was mistaken for a doctor. The change surgeon that could make to improve. A simple invention could stop 90 million single-use surgical caps to end the landfill every year. Vulnerable patients at risk after more than half of NHS staff failed to get the flu jab. NHS. I'm assuming NHS staff get the flu jab for free, because if they don't, that's a pretty bollocks as well. Who keeps sending me messages? Go away. Stupid messages. Reminds me. Yeah, personally. Yeah. We can't up and leave the country. Damn it, says personally. Yeah. Thank you, Viper Scott, for £2 super chat. One more for the confetti. The Peugeot E5008 is a luxury 7-seater car. It says dumplings there. It might cost a bomb. SUV. Yeah, my knowledge on cars is pretty shit. I'm not gonna bollocks you guys on that. I'm not very good with cars. That's probably why I don't have a driving license as well. As I said, you guys probably know better about it than me. But let's switch gears here. Let's have a look at the Independent, see what they're saying here. They already got their M&S advert up for Christmas. Starmer told off to encourage school people to do the 6-7 trend. Property tax, Rachel Reeves budget options as she hunts for billions of pounds. Listen, I would rather people do a 6-7 trend than looking at their phone. Let me put it that way. Budget Q&A of Money Expert. Starmer apologises to teacher, encouraging banning 6-7 trend. You're not going to stop that trend. Ofcom boss, I limit my use of social media amid fears of online abuse. The Internet Regulator has published guidance urging providers to take more responsibility for protecting users online. The head of the Internet and Communications Watchdog has said she limits her own use of social media amid concerns over abuse, as she defended Ofcom's role in ensuring safety online. The regulators use technology firms to step up in their efforts to tackle trolling and toxic online abuse in new guidance. But some organisations are working to protect women and girls have complained it might not work unless it is made mandatory. Ofcom said women in sports, politics and other public areas are facing significant and widespread abuse online every day, and its boss, Dame Milleen Dawes, has admitted she limits the use of her personal social media for that reason. In guidance published on Tuesday, the regulator set out a range of providers, including social media platforms, dating, gaming and pornographic sites, to help improve the status quo, urging them to take more responsibility for protecting users online. The guidance, which Ofcom goes beyond legal duties under the Online Safety Act, which includes encouraging firms to bring in prompts, asking users to reconsider before posting harmful content, imposing timeouts for users who repeatedly target victims, limit the number of comments or posts a person can make on one account to help prevent mass posting of abuse in so-called pylons, allowing users to quickly block or mute multiple accounts at once. The multiple comments, multiple posts and whatnot, that definitely applies to my Instagram. I definitely get that on Instagram. Sometimes when when I do my daily quotas, I used to do them all in one go for the week. But I couldn't do that because Instagram said it. I stopped doing it because Instagram kept telling me you're posting too much hashtags. You got to stop. So I don't do that. So I do it now every day, every morning. Now I post it. Well, every day I post it, whether it's in the morning or the evening. The quota for the next day on the page. But yeah, these are a couple of ideas that would help. Also recommends introducing more philosophical tools for users, making it easier for victims to report abuse, as well as simplifying the ability to set accounts to private. Yeah, a lot of accounts are quite easy to set to private. Another recommendation is for firms to use automated technology known as hash matching to detect and remove non-consensual intimate images. So she welcomed the Ofcom guidance, and it's time for platforms to take responsibility, user levers to protect women and girls online. Yeah, but the problem is that you are not you can't force social media to do this, because it's not like you're going to ban them from the UK. You're not going to ban X, you're not going to ban Facebook, you're not going to ban TikTok, you're not going to ban any of these social medias. You're just not going to do them because you're allowing them to have control over our lives. All you can do is basically say, please do more. That's all governments are doing. They're not taking enough action on these social media giants. But the guidance is not enforceable, a number of organisations working to protect women and girls said there is too much resilience on tech firms choosing to implement it. Yeah. This is the problem. You know, it's all well and good with this stuff, but putting recommendations and whatnot, it's just getting them to actually do it. Internet Matters, domestic abuse charities and refugees and children's charities, Plan International UK called on the government to make the guidance mandatory. So this is a welcome step towards aggressive misogyny and domestic abuse in digital spaces, but meaningful protection for women and girls will depend on tech companies fully engaging in this voluntary guidance and putting it into practice, which they won't do. Again, unless you make it mandatory, unless you force the technology companies, these social media companies, you can't. You're not going to make them do these. Plan International UK said the guidance is becoming a legal binding code, adding without the power to enforce penalties on companies that fail to act. Ofcom is limiting and naming and shaming platforms, and girls deserve more than that. You can name and shame the platforms all they want, but people are still going to use Facebook. People are still going to use Twitter. People are still going to use Blue Sky. People are still going to use. I mean, Blue Sky is not as problematic, but it's still a problem. Like every other social media, like you know, naming and shaming them is not going to stop people getting on the platforms. Ofcom is weak. Ofcom is weak. And we know Ofcom is weak because it doesn't do fuck all about GB News. We know about that story. We know about that story. Rachel Reeves right about misogyny in politics, says James Clevery. Yep, that is true. Brexit loses UK up to 90 billion in tax revenue a year. New analysis shows. Yay, Brexit! Britain's also up to £3,700 worse off, leading to calls for the Labour government to improve relations with the EU. Yay, Brexit! But people thought we weren't going to talk about Brexit again. Every now and then, the Independent brings up a Brexit story. Every now and then. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super jack for the confetti. Sorry I don't have an animation like Graham Hughes does. Thank you so much, my friend, for helping me reach today's super jack goal. Brexit is costing UK up to £9 billion a year in lost tax revenues. New analysis shows just day before Rachel Reeves prepared to hike levies in her make or break budget. Dumpling says, I'm glad you're not a teacher. Your class would be anarchy. You don't know a fucking thing about me, Dumpling Gods, making such a stupid comment like that. You've based an opinion on me. You've based an opinion on me as how I would be as a teacher on just one example. Shows how fucking thick you are. Really, really dumb comment. Honestly, seriously, fuck off. If you can fuck off the Twitch chat if you're going to make comments like that. You honestly don't know nothing about me. The average Briton is also thousands of pounds worse off, leading the calls for ministers to fix our broken relationship with Europe. As Ms. Rees sets out her budget on Wednesday, the government's official watchdogs also expected to confirm that leaving the European Union has been even more disastrous than previously thought. And last month, Ms. Rees says the Office of Budget Responsibility would be pretty thanked that Brexit had a bigger impact on our economy than it even was projected. A new study this month from the highly respected US think tank, the National Bureau of Economic Research, found that the economic damage since the 2016 Leave vote has resulted in the UK's GDP being between 6% to 8% smaller than it could have been. Well, we know that the GDP there was about 4% there. We know it's going to be about 4% there. So, bullies don't have many friends. Yeah, he obviously doesn't have many friends either, you know. And your language is appalling. Well, that's why you have no friends, mate, because all you can do is throw insults at people. Goodbye. Goodbye, little man. Yeah, I mean, like, what is up with that language? I mean, honestly, like, making statements about people when you don't even know anything about them. It's just ridiculous. Like, he's never been, I don't know who that person is, but he obviously never been there. Yeah, yes, people like that. Look, let me say this, yeah, to the common sense people here about being a teacher, all right? I have two sisters-in-laws who are teachers, who do such a wonderful job. And I may not be a parent myself, but I've never acted irresponsible in front of my nephews in any way, shape, or form. I've been blessed enough, yeah, to hold them and watch them grow and spend time with them. And to make an assumption that just because of one comment about Keir Starmer and saying, "Oh, you'd be a terrible teacher," and it's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. There's a saying that you should think before saying something, and there's people like that. Really, people really don't think. Yeah, knuckle draggers in Twitch chat. They are knuckle draggers in Twitch chat. It's such a shame that I can't have a chat like in Twitch as I can on YouTube. It's a real shame. But anyways, back to Brexit here, guys. I mean, again, are we surprised by this? Again, no, I don't think anyone is surprised by this. New analysis by the House and Commons Library estimates that Brexit is costing the Treasury up to £90 billion a year in lost tax revenue, and the average Briton has seen a hit to GDP per head between 2,700 and 3,700. Lib Dem leader Ed Davey, Parcel Analysis, says this is why we have the highest taxes ever. This is why we have sky-high bills. This is why we have a cost of living crisis. Well, yes, Brexit, but also the austerity. You have to factor in austerity as well. It's not just Brexit. Austerity plays a part in it as well. He called on Labour to drop its red lines, negotiate new customs union for the EU, fix our broken relationship with Europe. I do think Labour are making ground in terms of amending our relationship with Europe, but I just think the relationship with them will just go completely out the window. It will just go completely out the window if it's. I just think it will go completely out the window if Reform or the Conservatives come back in the relationship with Europe. Let's just see what else they've got here. Front of UK. Just a reminder, got 15 minutes left, guys. I'll be going live again at 6 o'clock today if you guys want to join me for that as well. Mr. Skiam says, free Palestine from Hamas. You're trying to defend it. You're trying to defend Israel again, Mr. Skism. I hope that's not what you're doing. You're not going to make many friends if you're trying to justify Israel. I'm just warning you now. There's a reason you got kicked here from the Discord server. Front of UK here. Liverpool parade, suspect on trial accused of diving into supporters. Around 100 firefighters battle blaze at Retail Park. The taxes Rachel Reeves could raise at the budget tomorrow. Starmer told off again. Yeah, we saw that already. Father Ted's Graham Linton cleared of harassing transgender activists there as well. Those are some of the stories from the Independent there. Let's see what's happening here on the BBC. Farage says he's never directly racially abused anybody after school racist claims. He's never done it, guys. Never done it. Right. Reeves urges Labour MPs to unite behind the budget. That's not going to happen. Heathrow plans for longer further runway chosen by the government. MPs want answer on the Villa Maccabee game intelligence. MPs have demanded police to give further accounts of alleged exaggerated intelligence that led to the decision to ban Israeli fans from the clubs against Aston Villa. What part of this do you not understand? What part of this do you not understand? These fans, like, how thick are these MPs? Like, it's not rocket science. Like, even I can bloody Google the bloody information about the Tel Aviv fans. It's not hard. There's footage out there of these fans causing thuggery and causing violence in Tel Aviv, in Amsterdam. They have a history. It's been shown. What part of it do these MPs do not understand? Why do they need more information? Oh, because we don't want to upset our Israeli masters. Is that what it is? This is not about anti-Semitism here. This has got nothing to do with anti-Semitism, but you're making it a problem, making it an issue around anti-Semitism. You're making it a thing about anti-Semitism. It's nothing to do with anti-Semitism. What this is about is protecting fans and keeping the peace. And these fans, yeah, whether you like it or not, a majority of them have caused thuggery, caused violence, and have attacked people. And they have a history of it. And that's why they were banned. The police are not fucking stupid. And they were right here to call it out. What more information do you need? Like, generally, have these MPs got nothing better to do than looking more into this? There's nothing more to look into this apart from these fans will cause. We've already discussed this. There doesn't need to be an inquiry into this. We already know why they were banned. And hats off to the police. And hats off to the club, Tel Aviv Football Club, for standing up and saying, no, we're not going to invite our fans. Hats off to them because they knew what was going to happen. Hats off to them because they knew what was going to happen if those fans had went to Birmingham. Move on. These MPs need to shut up and move on from it. Wimwas Chassar fears a repeat of citizenship scandal. I'm not surprised. To warn the danger of unintended consequences from tougher UK asylum laws. Yeah, this could potentially. Yeah, we could have a win rush again, guys. When did that article came up? Yesterday. It's under Birmingham and Black County there. That one. just for reference. Government proposes design to tackle illegal migration. Yep, he's concerned about potential mistakes and said lessons need to be learned from Windrush when thousands of Commonwealth citizens were wrongly classed as illegal immigrants. Yeah, I agree with him. I'm very worried we could have a Windrush scandal too here. Then you would deny jobs, housing, and NHS treatment. Some were wrongly deployed, yeah, because of the Home Office, yeah. It's very possible we could have something like that with the asylum stuff that we could be getting here. What else have we got here? Sorry, guys. There's people who've been. I feel like I've been triggered today. I've been triggered by people. Yeah, that Mr. Schism, he got kicked from the Discord server. Basically, he was he was propaganding a lot of crap on my Discord server, and he was having arguments with people on there. And yeah, he had to get the boot. Like, and he started turning, once his arguments weren't washing, he started turning to insults. You know, I had no choice but to kick him. You know, it's one thing to have a debate, which is fine, but when you turn your arguments into insults, you know, you're just going to get kicked. And unfortunately, he got kicked. I had to make that decision. Unfortunately, our admin is MIA, I'm afraid, guys, and I don't know when or if our admin is going to return, so I'm going to might need a new admin. Do you need mods in the Twitch stream, says Matty Von Eric? Well, the problem is that nobody ever turns up on the Twitch stream. Very rarely that it does. Like, there is a rare occasion where there's actually one or two good Twitch viewers, but most of the time it's dead. Most of the time it's dead. I'm not even really sure. I'm not really sure even how to make a mod on Twitch anyway, to be fair. But I appreciate it, Matty. It's fine. Thank you anyway. Got about 9 minutes left. Let's look at what else is there here. We earned £60,000 and want stamp duty scrapped. I've been playing speculation. Okay. What else is there? How a hero dog barked and saved her owner's life. I've heard a story like this. We've had a story like this on the Good Morning Stories. When a dog's bark woke Hannah Cook in the middle of the night last year, she found her husband breathing strangely next to her before he stopped breathing completely. After warning Hannah performed CPR on Adam until an ambulance arrived, saving his life. Hannah and her husband convinced the 4-year-old dog helped save Adam's life after he suffered a cardiac arrest in his sleep. Polly the Golden Retriever will be honoured as CPR hero in London on Tuesday today. Hannah, who worked in the social services, said it had been a normal night before she was woken up by Polly barking just before 1 a.m. The 33-year-old said she initially thought Adam had been choking, but then he stopped breathing. Used to be a carer, and I've been with people at the end of their life, so I know what that end-of-life breathing is like, she said. If anyone's heard of it, you have never heard anything like it. What an unbelievable dog. He was so really, really fighting to come back, but I did think it was, and I'm never going to come back. Paramedics shook Adam with a defibrillator several times on the journey from his home to the hospital. He woke up in the hospital 6 days later. King runner Adam was just 37 years old at the time of his cardiac arrest. He was later diagnosed with dilute cardiotherapy and was fitted with an implanted cardiovascular defibrillator (ICD), a device that can deliver electrical shocks that correct the heart rhythm. After weeks of recovery in hospital, Adam and Polly were reunited. Polly's a part of the family. I wasn't shook when I heard that she had such a big role to play, he said. I'm not going to shy away from it. I cried. I was in tears, and I was too. She said, whimpering, because I was thinking, wow, you're back home. I didn't think you'd be back here. It was an emotional moment. Hell yeah. This is awesome. I love this. With a cardiac arrest, everything I've learned since it's all happens in seconds. Polly gave me those seconds. You know what? You know what? If it, I wouldn't know. It's very fortunate that in her experience, she knows what it's like for people at the end of life there. This is wonderful. These dogs really are an amazing animal. Adam nominated his wife and his dog to the annual Hearts Heroes Awards organised by the British Heart Foundation. This is a lovely story. We need a story like that. Lovely, lovely story. So happy to hear that he was saved. God bless that dog. Are we going to have a white Christmas this year? I don't know, is the answer, guys. Gardeners unearth stolen phones left by snatchers. Yeah, I saw that story on I saw this story on BBC while I was having breakfast this morning. Yeah, volunteers at Communities Garden in central London reuniting phone theft victims that stolen devices, find them buried in flower beds. Yeah, so the reason they're doing this, obviously, is because phones have, obviously, GPS locations. So what they're doing is they're dumping them. Some of them, they're dumping them there. Is what some of them are doing. Elderly man broken after losing 35k in online scam. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. We've got about 5 minutes left here, guys. Let's have a quick run through some of the other stories here. I could judge his comments by the replies he was getting in for just a matter of time. He was going to be gone. Yeah, I mean, I was willing to hear him out. Like, I'm willing to hear people out, but sometimes you got to be willing to hear people out. And I just thought he wasn't someone that was like, the thing is, he was having debates on the Discord server, but when he wasn't winning the argument, he started arguing. He started insulting people. And it's okay to have debates, but when it comes to insults, you're not helping yourself or anybody, you know. Luxury cars removed from mobility scheme, dismissed schools. Anything here that we don't already have? No, doesn't look like there's much here. Graham Leon clear harassment, not guilty of criminal damage to trans activist phone. Most Black Friday deals are not as good as you think, survey shows. Yeah, I've looked at this, guys. Black Friday is a bollocks. You know what it is? Yeah. Do you know what I really hate about Black Friday, right? Here in the UK specifically. So here's what they do, right? The prices used to be less than what you get when normal sales. But what they do now is basically, it's the same bloody sales that they had like a month, 2 months, or early in the year now. So if you see a Black Friday deal, don't be fooled. It's the same as a normal deal. All they've done is just change the promotional color to make it sound like it's a great deal. In actual fact, some of the deals are actually been cheaper than they have been on Black Friday. They will be on Black Friday. Like, that's how much nonsense it is. I think if I was part of the, if I would basically false retailers basically saying that if you want to do Black Friday deals, your deals have to be cheaper than any. They have to be cheaper than any other time that you've put them on Black Friday. I know that's a bit picking around the bushes here, but it is a bit of manipulating Black Friday. It's manipulating people into thinking they're getting a great deal when they're not. And I don't like people being misled, you know. Let's take it from somebody who worked. I worked for Superdrug for 15 years. And it was only the last few years when they got into the Black Friday deals. And the actual fact, the Black Friday deals at those times, those last few years when I was in Superdrug, they were actually good deals in comparison. And I know they were in comparison, they were actually good deals because some of them were actually a lot cheaper than what they've normally been. So they were actually proper good deals Black Friday. Now they're just tricking everyone. Scott Hayes, thank you so much for the £2 super chats. Such faithful friends dogs are. They are indeed. And last Thursday when I wasn't well, guys, in the evening, I got into bed because I really had a bad headache and whatnot. And Jasper got into bed with me. And they didn't, he came up into the bedroom with me, give me company. You know, even though I didn't, I left the door open and whatnot. So yeah, animals are credible things. Labour condemns Nigel Farage. DWP to reassess hundreds of thousands of cases in carer allowance scandal. Damaging official review finds many unpaid carers left with huge debts because of government failure. What the hell? Hundreds of thousands of vulnerable unpaid carers will have their cases reassessed after a damning official review conducted. They have been left with huge debts because of the government's failure and oh my god. Triggered a year-long Guardian investigation how carers have been hit with draconian penalties such as £20,000 relating to carers allowance. Some were plunged into hardship, others were jailed. Ministers have promised to cancel and reduce penalties that were wrongly issued after review conducted many with official errors rather than willful rule breaking. Terrible. More than 100 MPs urged Streeton to approve prostate cancer screening. Look, where were you guys for prostate cancer when David Cameron didn't have it? Generally. Like, I mean this. I generally mean this. I say this sincerely, right? Anyone having cancer is a terrible thing. And I know because someone very close to me had cancer as well. And I really mean this. But are we doing this because we care about prostate cancer, or are we doing this because David Cameron's got it? Like, that's the general question. I think we know what the answer is, guys. Never tried to hurt anybody. Shifting answers on school days, racism timeline there. Let's have a quick look at the front of UK. Yep, Brexit, we looked at that already. Venue cancelled Kate Hopkins' show after man blackmailed them, court told. UK bank shares rise after reports of budget reprise. Long overdue, Prince Andrew. Peak Pizza Domino's boss ousted after launching shift towards chicken. What? Firm says Andrew Rain's departure by mutual agreement, but says he faced tensions with the board. Suggested the UK may have reached peak pizza after expanding the chain into fried chicken has been ousted after tensions with the board. Tried to switch to chicken. How dare you, Domino's? How dare you? That's me and my partner's favourite. EasyJet client project clients 1 in 7 English bathing spots rated as polluted in the latest testing there as well. UK can create 5,400 jobs if it stops plastic waste exports. Report finds there as well. Those are some of the final stories. We'll just have a quick look at the. I'll just go have a quick look at this. I know we've gone over time, but I just want to have a quick look at this before we go. Valentine's here. Let's just see some of the headlines here. Eco-populist cost-cutting budget. Rachel Reeves should re-deliver. The £46 million overspend. We looked at that yesterday, last night. Timestamps are already up for last night's live stream. If you guys want to see that, if you haven't seen it already. Caroline Lucas calls for a landmark UK-European Energy and Climate Alliance. Nigel Farage's Project 2029. The pro-Trump lobbyist pushing his agenda into the UK. Jabiya Mahmood's asylum plans put human trafficking victims at risk. Yep. And that's some of the other stories there. Nathan Gill's sentence. What was he really doing for the Kremlin? So those are some of the stories there from Byline Times there as we come to the end there. How do I find you on Twitch? Links in the description. Twitch.tv/ReganElite1. Reganelite1 if you want to find me on Twitch there. Reganelite1. Not Reganelite, Reganelite1. I have 2 Twitch accounts. It's Reganelite1. My original one, yeah, the original one is something else. Is well, basically when I'm not I have practiced in the past live streaming games on Twitch, but I don't think it's something people would be interested in to be fair. Well, plus I don't even have time to do it anyway, guys. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's come along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you for those who gave super chats today. My apologies for my language as well. There's just, I came in thinking a bit more positive, and then it's just like one or two people trying to bring me down, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But it's fine. We'll be fine. I will be back live in 6 hours' time at 6 o'clock tonight for Global News. So if you guys want to join me for that, I'll be covering news from outside the UK. I'm sure there'll be plenty to cover there. So if you guys want to join me for that, of course, we'll have the funny memes, which is the best part of the live stream, which is only available anytime you can see them there as well. But if you can't join me for that, just a quick reminder before you go, guys. Tomorrow, there's not 1, not 2, but 3 live streams tomorrow. So I'll have the Good Morning Show at 8 o'clock. Do join me for that. It won't be at 11 a.m. Remember, it's at 8 a.m. So if you can join me for that, great. If you can't, no big deal. But if you can, be great to do so. We'll be going for an hour there. And then at 12 o'clock, we will have Prime Minister's questions, followed by the budget. And then Wednesday evening we will have the usual watch along live stream there. We'll be looking at reaction to the budget more or less, as well as other stuff there. So tomorrow's going to be a long day for me. But before obviously that, I have one more live stream later on today, guys. So thank you guys again for all your comments. But on your way out, if you can, please hit that like button, shares across social media. Subscribe if you haven't already. Help me reach 2,500 subscribers. I still want to get there before the end of the year. It's very, very slow, the subscriber count, guys. It's very, very slow. So if you know anyone who isn't a subscriber or is considering being a subscriber, please help me get over that 2,500 mark at least. I want to get there before the end of this year. It's getting very slow, and we're already coming up to the last month. So it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. So if you guys help me get over that line, it'd be greatly appreciated. Do check out Rumble and Patreon as well. Links are down below. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.